Stanley Cleaning Company has an exciting new service they are offering, and I can't wait to tell you about it. Laundry. Yes, they will come to your house, and for $15 a load, they will pick it up, take it, wash it, dry it, fold it, and bring it back to you. This is something I have dreamed about since I became an adult and started doing laundry on my own. Hit them up and get your place cleaned and your laundry done by my friends over at Stanley Cleaning Company. You can find them on Facebook or give her a call or a text at 765-860-3606. My name is Kayla Keith, and this is Missing Midwest, a true crime podcast about those that have gone missing. Today's story is about a missing person, one who deserves to be found, but not for the reasons you might think. A mysterious fire, murders, and a missing person.
Whoa.
Ready?
Let's go. I mean, I'm intrigued.
Okay, so the last 2 Fridays have been a very intriguing case as well, one that's going to make you think, and then this one, same thing. It's going to live rent-free in your head right next to the Darlie Routier case, because it is just one of those that you're just like, freaking what happened?
I mean, based on what you said already, like, are we looking for somebody that was supposed to be murdered, or we can't find their body, or are we looking for a criminal?
I'll tell you in a minute.
Okay, let's go.
Do you have any announcements?
I do. We've got one of the best days of the year coming up. Next Saturday. Not today. Next Saturday. Tell them what we got going on.
We have the fall market at the shop. Our shop in Kokomo, the Jefferson House. It's a flower shop. It's a boutique. It's an event space. But we host a fall market. We've done it every year for the past 8 years. It's always the first Saturday of October. So October 5th this year from 9 to 3. We have tons of handmade vendors come out. So you have to have made your product. And so we're going to have some of our candles there. And there's food. And we have all of the clothes in the boutique. And coffee and shopping and pumpkins. And it's just like my favorite fall day ever. So
it's a lot of fun.
Come see us. I'll be there. Johnny will be there.
I'll be near the food truck.
We will all be there. So wear your Missing Midwest merch and come talk to me.
Would be dope. Would be dope to see it.
I will literally freak out if somebody comes to talk to me.
We're going to try to remember to bring stickers. So if you see us, be like, hey, I listen to your podcast. And there's a 75% chance we remember to give you one of those stickers. It's a crazy day for us, but we love it.
Yeah. Anything else?
Subscriptions, $5.
$5.
So much fun.
Cheap.
We send you stickers. And you get access to about 50 bonus episodes, including all kinds of serial killer episodes.
An extra episode a week.
My brain is still spinning a little bit. We had part 1 yesterday of Darlie, how do I say last name? Routier?
Darlie Routier.
Darlie Routier. And part 2 coming at you next week. It's a doozy. You're going to want to hear both those episodes. $5. Get on board with the subscription life. It's a good life. So much content. I mean, if you think about it, you're looking at like 30 hours worth of bonus content if you were to join the subscription.
Plus all of it that's coming up.
Oh yeah, and then you'll get another one every week. Every week, get a new one. It's a lot of fun. So
fun. What else do we have? Oh, we have a surprise coming for them. That's all we'll say.
Oh, look at that.
It's just a little teaser.
Ooh.
It's a let's say it's a spooky surprise coming to you in October. That's all we'll say.
It'll be thrilling.
Shut up.
All right.
Okay. And that's coming to all of our.
Make sure you're following us on Instagram and Facebook, because that's where we're going to announce that stuff first.
Maybe I'll do some teasers.
Whoa. Tease them.
Okay.
Teasing them. All right. I'm ready. You had a pretty good teaser of an intro there,
right?
so I'm ready to.
Good on that.
I'm ready to find. Are we talking about?
I hate writing those intros.
I like writing the intros.
Really? We need to switch, because every time I do the case, it's always the last thing I do. And then I'm like, how am I supposed to summarize this in 2 sentences, but not enough to give it away? And I don't like it.
Ready for a confession right here?
What?
If your intro sucks, I change it in the show notes.
You do?
Yeah.
Wow.
Go ahead.
I should just let you write all the intros from now on. Guess who's going to be writing all the intros? Okay. Robert William Fisher. Do you know this case? I think we've talked about this case before. Because
that sounds familiar. That sounds familiar.
I cannot not think about it. He might be up there with
FBI's Most Wanted, right? Like he's one of the most wanted guys.
Yes,
Okay.
Yes, he's on the most. He's the most wanted.
Criminal. We're talking criminal here.
Criminal.
All right.
Allegedly. Okay. He was born on April 13th in Brooklyn, New York. His dad was William Fisher. He was a banker, and his mom was named Jan. They had Robert. He was the oldest, and then he had 2 younger sisters. His parents got divorced when Robert was 15, and it kind of like wrecked his world. After that, him and his sisters moved with their dad to Arizona, and he attended high school there in Tucson. His friends and his relatives said this divorce was not good, and it had a lot of long-lasting effects on him. They said that he was very bitter about it, and he spoke of his parents' separation like to his coworkers at the Mayo Clinic when he worked. So like, dude, this happened when you were 15, and he's
he a doctor?
He's an adult. No, he's not a doctor, but he's an adult working at the Mayo Clinic, and he's still talking about his parents' divorce. From
That's
like,
tough.
Get over it. They're not getting back together.
Yeah,
like,
that's
like close to the time of the murders, his coworkers were like, he was still talking about his parents' divorce.
Man.
Yeah.
That's like I feel like that's like a psychiatric trait, or psychiatric.
He told one of his coworkers that his life would have been completely different had his mom not left the family.
Wow.
Right? Dramatic. He enlisted in the U.S. Navy. He tried to become part of the SEALs, but he failed. Didn't do it.
Hard to do.
Avid outdoor man. I don't know why I said that. Outdoor man. Hunter, fisherman. He was a firefighter in California, but then he had a really bad back injury, and so he had to retire from that. And so that's when he moved his family to Arizona, and he went and started working in the medical field. He was a respiratory therapist and a surgical catheter technician. That's what he was doing at the Mayo Clinic at the time of this crime. He worked in the 80s as like a weed sprayer for some guy, and that guy said he had really bad back pain, but he was a really good employee.
Fair enough.
And like I said, he was the surgical technician at the Mayo Clinic at the time of the crime, so that's what he was doing. He married a lady named Mary in 1987. Her name was Mary Cooper. He was described as like a control freak. His family. Him and his wife fought all the time. They fought about literally everything: sex, money, they said literally everything. Mary actually took a job, and she told some of her friends that it was a security fund. Some neighbors said that Robert once turned the garden hose on Mary.
What?
Because she spoke out of turn to him.
We're allowed to do that?
You're absolutely not allowed to do that.
It was a joke.
You also want to be.
It was a joke.
A missing person on my missing person podcast. I will get on here and be like, I don't know where he went, knowing good and well that you're buried in the backyard. Because don't be spraying me with a hose.
Fair enough.
He was really embarrassed about his son Bobby. They had a daughter named Brittany and a son named Bobby, but Bobby didn't like to hunt and fish. And so he was embarrassed by him. And I'm just like, wow, that's so mean. Right? I read that and I was like, okay.
That's Bobby. He doesn't like to hunt and fish.
Right? Bobby, maybe he wants to do something else, Robert.
Seriously.
Take your hose and go spray some yourself. Like, you're not. Robert's an asshole, guys. That's all I gotta say. Sorry, but he is. He tried to teach his daughter and Bobby how to swim, and he threw them both off the boat.
That is a red flag.
Yeah, he has a friend that was like, they would hunt together, and his friend is the one that pulled both of the kids back in the boat. He said they were like crying and screaming, and he pulled them back in the boat and was like, bro, what are you doing?
They were gonna die.
Yeah. And he said all Robert said was like, now there, how's that? As in like,
somebody saved you.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sir.
That's pretty ice cold. I mean,
like I said,
we're at like psychopathic tendencies.
Robert is not nice.
Like 95 right now.
They said that he also like didn't allow his wife to like decorate the home or like hang anything on the walls or anything.
That's weird.
And to that, I'm like, why do you care?
Seriously.
Like, why do you want this sterile hospital environment.
Yeah.
Like a creepy house, I guess.
Yeah, that's weird.
They said that Mary was really good at quilting. And he wouldn't let her display her quilt. He made her put them in a closet.
Great job. Put it in the closet.
Right? She wasn't allowed to hang them up, so she stored them.
You're really good at this. Let's put them in the closet.
And he would always tell her, like, isn't it time you threw that stuff away?
Wow,
That's
what a guy.
Friends said. Robert, like,
what a guy.
Robert needs to go. He also, like I said, he wouldn't let her paint. He wouldn't let her hang anything up. Just
that's weird.
Stinking
Make my house pretty.
Stinging Robert.
I'm thankful that my house looks
If I want to hang you on the wall, I will. Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, it's Friday's episode.
Seriously, if you spray me with a garden hose, it would be Friday's episode. I guarantee you that.
Keep that in mind.
They basically said he was trying to he really tried really hard to have an image of like a devoted family man, though. Did you know the Jefferson House of Flowers has been a local Kokomo florist for almost 100 years? Our trained designers make beautiful arrangements for literally any occasion. You can send flowers for any reason. Birthdays, anniversaries, get well, congratulations. The list goes on. We make flowers for funerals, weddings, proposals, and even proms. Let's be honest. Receiving flowers, whether you're at home or at work, it makes you feel special. You get butterflies and you feel loved, and that's what sending flowers is all about, the feeling it creates. Call us at 765-452-8269 and let us create something special and send it out for you. Or you can stop in and see us at 4300 West, 100 North Kokomo. We always have a cooler full of flowers that are ready to go, as well as a boutique full of gifts. Shop local, support local, and send flowers. So, like I said, he wanted this, I was really obsessed with his image of having a really good family, but he was not a good family guy. He was mean. Like I also said, he was an outdoorsman and a hunter, So there was a couple friends that had like done interviews, and they said that one time he killed an elk, and he just ripped it open and smeared its blood all over his body.
Like, was there an explanation behind that? It was just
I would have been like
primal.
Gonna go now.
Yeah, that's weird. That's a weird thing to do.
They also said on more than one occasion on his hunting trips, I just want you all to just stop and imagine yourselves what you would do in this situation. He would find a family that was either camping or like having a picnic, and he would sneak up behind them in the woods and like empty his gun into the air.
Like just to scare them?
Scare them. Just like an innocent, unsuspecting family.
Guys on board, you know what I'm gonna do this weekend?
Like, aren't you on a hunting trip for your entertainment?
Yeah, it's definitely not helping the hunting trip.
Right?
Like that is not helping.
What kind of hobby? Like that is.
He wouldn't like me because I'm not a hunter either, but I can, with pretty strong confidence, tell you that that's not bringing the animals close to you.
Yeah, no, they're not. They're not flocking to you if you're just emptying your gun into the air.
It's one of those.
I just imagined myself just sitting around a campfire and that happening, and I'd break a leg. That's for sure.
That's pretty. That's fair.
I'd probably pee my pants and break a leg. That's terrifying.
Both of those very strong.
It's absolutely terrifying. So I think we've established that if you're still doubting that Robert's a nice guy, I have just a couple more. He also shot a dog because he said it attacked his dog, but the police said there was literally no sign of his dog being attacked, and they're pretty sure he just wanted to kill the dog.
That's messed up.
Yeah. So there's Robert in a nutshell.
He's a dog killer.
He's crazy. He was avid participant in the Scottsdale Baptist Church, but they said that before the crime happened, he had started to withdraw from church and the activities a little bit. I
would say that too.
Right. If you were the church,
if I was the church, I haven't seen him in a while.
He's not been around much. So according to some of the friends of the family, and some other friends of Robert's, they said that he spoke of committing suicide in 1998 because his marriage was struggling, but they ended up going to marital counseling, and they tried to work through some things. However, he had a one-night affair with a prostitute that he met in a massage parlor. Don't recommend. He ended up getting a UTI from it, and he was really worried that his wife was going to find out because it made him really sick. And so he ended up having to tell her about it because he got so sick from it. And so that was got them back in marriage counseling. And that was around 2000.
That'll do it.
Yeah. Yeah. It burned when he peed, and I'm happy it did. I hope it still does. His neighbor said that they, quote, they did not have a happy marriage. They screamed constantly. Everybody heard it. You could hear it in the house next door. That's what the neighbors have to take away from the, like, that's sad.
That is sad.
Like, that's awful. They said that you never really heard him yelling, but you could always hear his wife screaming that you're worthless, I could have done better than you, and we should get a divorce.
That's rough.
I mean, honestly, though,
That's rough.
He's not letting her paint the walls.
Yeah, and he's spraying her with the hose.
Yeah, and
Like,
she could have done better. She quite literally could have done better. So, I mean,
I'm not disagreeing.
where's the line?
Maybe not tell the neighbors, but go ahead.
So he told another one of his hunting friends, which how he still has hunting friends at this point, beyond me. But he told them that he was renewing his commitment to his faith and his marriage because suicide and divorce were not an option because he could not live without his family. According to psychologists, this is a red flag because an intense fear of loss is like a usual response to like kids of divorce that were traumatized by a divorce. And so it's also like a really big red flag for like the family annihilator type.
Oh no. Yeah.
Kind of where we're going here. Mary had told several of her friends in the weeks before her murder that she was going to divorce Robert. And he had also told his friends that that wasn't an option. So here we are. April 9th, 2001. Okay. A neighbor reported hearing a really loud argument coming from inside the home around 10 p.m. on April 9th. By the next morning, at 8:42 a.m., the entire Fisher house exploded into flames.
Whoa.
Somebody had cut a gas line and left a candle burning 10 hours prior, approximately 10 hours prior.
Which would have been around the fight time, right?
Yes, which would have led to a very strong explosion. An explosion. This also was something that somebody that possibly had worked with fires would know how to do, like a firefighter.
Yeah.
The explosion was strong enough that it collapsed. The entire house was like brick, and it collapsed it, and it rattled the frames of the houses around it, and for 1/2 mile in all directions.
Wow.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Neighbors tried to like keep the flames down because it was such a big thing. It was going to catch the houses next to it on fire.
It's scary.
They used their garden hoses to keep the flames under control. They said it was 20 foot high flames.
Wow.
Yeah. And then there was a bunch of smaller explosions from paint cans that were inside.
Goodness.
Yeah. So it was quite large. And like I said, that was from the gas line. It was the furnace gas line. It had been cut. And then there was a candle that had been ignited nearby. They said it was, they said it was a delayed fuse, which gave approximately like a 10-hour window before the fire.
You can get a long way in 10 hours.
After the fire was under control and police got in, they discovered the burned bodies of a woman and 2 children. They were all 3 found laying in a bed together, and they were identified as 38-year-old Mary Fisher, 12-year-old Brittany Fisher, and 10-year-old Bobby Fisher. However, there was no sign of Robert Fisher. And so then began the search for Robert. So initially, police were like, he might be on. A lot of times his neighbors reported that like after a fight, he would go hunting for a day or two to cool off. And there was a fight the night before. So they thought maybe he's gone hunting.
He'll come back.
And so they immediately like put like a thing out, like we got to find this guy, like his family's been killed type thing. However, it didn't take long for police to realize that maybe he was the culprit. He was the reason for all of this to be happening. So they actually tracked him. He had withdrawn $280 from an ATM, and they had him on camera, and Mary's car was in the background, which Mary's car was missing from the house. And so that was the night before at 10:43 p.m. Police believed that the murders took place between 9:30 p.m. and 10:15 p.m. And then at 10:45 that night, Fisher was seen withdrawing the money. They said that Mary was shot in the back of the head, and Brittany and Bobby's throats were slashed from ear to ear. So they are kind of shifting at this point to maybe after that fight, Robert decided that he was not going to lose his family to divorce like he did when he was a child. And they theorized that he actually had killed his family, set up the whole explosion thing to give him a 10-hour head start, and he was bouncing.
Would make sense.
Would make sense, right?
Yeah.
They believe he exploded the house to conceal the evidence. They also thought, maybe the police might think that he died as well in the explosion. They believe that he did this because he was threatened by the intention of divorce. After they started talking to family and friends, they realized that Mary was thinking about leaving. It wasn't going well. And they said that he would not have wanted his kids to go through a divorce like he did when he was.
Well, and if she was saying leading up to it was going to happen, that means that conversation was going to be happening soon.
Yeah.
And this very well could have been how he responded to it.
Exactly. So he disappeared at the time of the murders, obviously, and he was named as an official and, to date, the only person of interest in these murders.
Okay.
On April 14th. They issued a statewide bulletin to arrest him. Full-on manhunt for this guy.
Johnny, question for you.
Yeah.
If I was somewhere in Kokomo and it wasn't our house and it wasn't the flower shop, where would I be?
Easy. Humble home.
Yes, you're right. You guys, listen up. Humble Home is my absolute favorite place to be for so many reasons. No matter what I am looking for, I always check Humble Home first. Clothes, shoes, toys, decor, furniture, makeup, they literally always have something that I need. They have brand name items for cheap. Their inventory is constantly changing, so it's part of my weekly routine to do a Humble Home walkthrough. You absolutely need to stop by. I promise you won't be disappointed. While it is a discount store, it's not your average discount store. It's clean, organized, and everything has its place. I get zero anxiety when I go in, unlike other discount stores. And no matter what you're shopping for, a home project, gifts, home decor, even seasonal decor, they will have it. They are open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Sunday from noon to 5. You can follow them on Facebook at Humble Home Kokomo and watch for new items every single day. And for our Lafayette, Indiana listeners, I have exciting news. They're opening a second location in Lafayette soon. As soon as I have the details, I will let you know their opening date. Get excited.
On April 20th, so the fire, the murders, and everything happened on, April 1st, right? Or April 9th, sorry. April 9th for the murders. April 20th, they found Mary's Toyota 4Runner abandoned in the Tonto National Forest near Young, Arizona. It was 100 miles north of Scottsdale. They found the family's dog outside the car. It had taken shelter underneath the car.
Oh, it was alive still.
It was alive.
Okay, wow.
And it was hungry.
What the heck?
It had been out there by itself.
I want to blow up my family, but I'm keeping the dog.
Right? Man's best friend, I guess. I don't know.
He killed for this dog already once. Right? The other dog? He
That's
killed
true.
that other dog.
That's very true.
Likes his dog.
He does. So it had taken shelter. It had been abandoned there. They found an identical an Oakland Raiders hat, and it was the one that Robert was seen wearing in that ATM footage.
Huh.
They also found a pile of human poop near the passenger door.
What the heck? Can you
Yeah.
get DNA from poop? I don't know.
I have no idea. So, police immediately searched the area around where this vehicle was. The entire car was completely clean. No fingerprints, nothing. It had been completely wiped clean. They searched high and low, dozens of caves. They said that these caves actually form this really complex maze of underground caves, this cave system all through the area. And they searched it, and they said there's miles and miles of underground caves here. They said actually several professional cavers have went out and searched, and they have never found any sign that Robert was ever even in the cave or any of the caves.
That's, I mean, can you imagine though, like what a setup? Like if he didn't go in the caves, like, I bet you they're gonna waste so much time on these caves. He's gonna bounce from right here.
So the Toyota was discovered less than a mile from the Fort Apache Indian Reservation, and that area was never searched because it was an Indian reservation.
Yeah.
They did follow a set of footprints that led on to the reservation, but they never saw any signs of him. There was a couple that reported seeing a man resembling Robert walking along a road, the Young Road, several days before the discovery of the car. They said that they actually saw him, and the woman said to her husband, "That looks like Robert Fisher." However, they didn't really do anything. But then when they heard about the vehicle being found, they called it in.
Man,
I can just hear me saying, "Dude, that looks like that guy," and you being like, "Oh my gosh, it's not that person," and getting annoyed with me.
don't get me started on your facial recognition skills.
That's really bad facial rec. Listen, this whole entire time, like the past 2 weeks I've been doing this case, I think everybody's Robert Fisher. I don't even
Like,
tell
this
you.
guy looks so familiar. Who do you think this looks like? I'm like, I don't know. He's like, don't you think it looks like so and so? No, it does not.
Shut up. So they should have called that tip in, but they didn't. Lori Greenback, okay, she is an acquaintance of the Fisher family. Her husband was friends with Fisher, Robert Fisher. Sorry, I keep saying Fisher. They went camping shortly before the April 9th when the murders happened, like a couple weeks before. And she said that her husband believed that he was scouting that area on that camping trip, because that's the exact place they went where the car was found.
Yeah, sketchy.
Yeah. She or her husband.
Sounds like something like military would do. You know
Her
what I
and
mean?
her
Like,
husband.
being prepared like that.
Right. Her and her husband said like he was super familiar with that national forest in that region.
Yeah.
So on July 19th, there was an arrest warrant issued in Phoenix charging Robert Fisher with 3 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of arson. He was declared a fugitive, and a federal arrest warrant was issued charging him with unlawful flight to avoid prosecution. And then on June 29th, he was named by the FBI as the 475th fugitive to be placed on the 10 most wanted list. He was also on America's Most Wanted, their Dirty Dozen list, which is a list of like the most notorious fugitives.
Man.
By John Walsh.
Oof.
Yeah. There is a $100,000 reward for Robert Fisher. And if you guys don't start subscribing, I'm going to quit podcasting and just go hunt Robert Fisher so I can get the $100,000 reward.
I always think of like that most wanted list is like there's like a whole FBI team design like that is built to find, and maybe it's not, but like built just to find him. I'm like, how can they not get it?
So-
They got to get him.
Well, like I said, you probably picked up on the fact that since I said I would quit podcasting to go get my $100,000 reward, he has still not been found to this day. He is still on the FBI's most wanted list.
He's missing in the.
He is
maybe in the
missing,
Midwest.
maybe in the Midwest. I don't know. There have been so many reported sightings of him.
Really?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so in a couple of years like following his disappearance, there was like more than one person throughout the years that live in his old neighborhood have reported seeing a man driving through the neighborhood that looks like him.
Sketchy. I don't like it.
Terrifying too.
Yeah.
I
mean, gee whiz.
So in February of 2004, there was a person in Vancouver, Canada, who was arrested by the RCMP, Royal Canadian Mounted Police. And this man he had a missing tooth where Robert Fisher had a gold tooth in that place. It was his bicuspid tooth, and he was missing that tooth. And he also had the same surgical scar on his back that Robert Fisher had.
Coincidences? Come on.
Okay, listen, it gets better. So the police are like, okay, we have this guy in custody. He looks just like him. He's got all these like similar characteristics. And they're like, we want to see like if somebody that knows him, like what's going on. And so they go back and they find like a relative type thing.
Up in Canada?
Not a relative of Robert, but like I used relative. I meant like an acquaintance.
Like in Canada though?
No, somebody. I don't know where this person was from, John.
Okay.
I don't have his address.
I thought he's in Canada right now.
He
though, right?
is in Canada.
Yeah,
yes.
that's what I'm saying.
But they go get somebody that knew Robert Fisher, like, well, and they're like, we are going to like fake arrest you and have you casually run into him in police custody so we can like see if you think it's him and like gauge his reaction.
That's elaborate, but okay.
So they get this guy.
They can't just like print him?
Okay. His fingerprints didn't match Robert Fisher's, but they said that they weren't burnt.
They're like manipulated?
Somehow, like something was weird
Interesting.
about this guy's fingers.
Interesting.
And his fingers didn't match. His fingerprints didn't match.
Wow.
But
he's gone through pretty drastic lengths already, so.
But they were like, man, the tooth and the scar. And so they go and they get this guy, and they're booking this guy in jail. And they like bring him casually into the same room as Robert Fisher. And
so in on this story.
They said that Robert's face, you could practically see like the color leaving his face when he saw this old neighbor of his.
Really?
Yeah. That guy said, you will never convince me that that wasn't Robert Fisher.
Really?
But the prints did not match, and they had no reason to hold him. And they didn't have any DNA at the time or anything, and so they let the guy go.
So he's probably not even in Canada anymore. He's probably like, well, gave Canada a try.
They said his
I'm out of
face.
here, eh?
They said his face when he saw that like neighbor or whatever it was back from Arizona was like, what the hell are you doing here?
Wow.
In Canada, in this police station looking
What
at
a
me.
move, though, for them. Good for them.
And that guy says, like, you will never convince, like, he thinks it's him.
Wow.
Yeah, but they had to let him go.
Yeah.
So they said there was no scarring like on the fingers to suggest that they had been altered. So they're like, we have no reason, we can't keep him because he looks like somebody.
That's whew.
So they had alerted the local police around where the car was discovered that he might be like in that area. And they got a tip that he was living in a house in Commerce City, Colorado. And they raided it, but he wasn't. They arrested 2 people they found in the house, but they didn't find him.
Must have been a pretty credible tip for them to raid it.
Right? Yeah. They released these like age-enhanced photos of like what he would look like during the 15th anniversary of the murders. He was removed in 2021 from the top 10 most wanted list. They said basically because there was so much publicity on the case for literally 20 years that he's been on this list.
He's out of here.
And they said that it hasn't resulted in any capture or location. And so it's no longer on the top 10.
That makes sense.
But he's still on the most wanted.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the freaking story. Like, where is he? So, like, the theories, we can talk about, like, the theories. Like, there's a lot of, there's some, so basically, the main theories are he killed himself that day. He killed his family. He got his dog and went out to the woods and parked the car. And then he went off into the woods and he unalived himself. And they just never found his body.
20 years later, I say no.
Everyone is like, why'd he take $280 out of it then?
Yeah, no, I don't buy
Why
that.
he got the cars, like the oil changed like the week before in all the family vehicles. It's like if he was planning this whole thing.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Why did he kill? Like that doesn't even make sense.
No.
So that's a popular one, but another popular one is that he did it. He killed his family, and then he went out and started a new life.
That's what I think happened. I mean, I think he's like
They said
I don't think he's in the country.
They said he easily could have survived in the woods for like a long time.
I think hiding out on the Indian reservation for a while is a good idea.
Yeah. They also said this was before the September 11th attacks, and so they said you easily could have gotten out of country, like with the flights and stuff.
True. I mean, if you're on the FBI's most wanted, Yeah. FBI's most wanted list. It's a real bad plan to stay in the country.
Yeah.
Like, if you're in Arizona, you can get to Mexico. Like, I don't know how he got to Canada. I mean, if he was in Canada, you're in Canada. But I feel like if you were on the FBI's most wanted list, staying in the country is not in your best interest whatsoever.
I mean, yeah, I agree with that. They said he could be living in a small town, working as a handyman.
That'd be
getting paid
creepy.
Cash. They said he could be in a big city and blending in. The border security was not very good at that time. They said that he could have started a new family.
Also, if you think about the timeline of that, I mean, it happened in April 2001. Like, September 2001 is when 9/11 happened, and the whole country was shifted focuses. You know, like, what a time to be on the run.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that would have been FBI couldn't care less about him for a handful of months there. You know.
Why did he take the dog?
That because he's a weirdo, I guess, with the dog. But I mean, he left the dog, right? I mean, I don't know. That's weird. It's all weird.
So
He's a psychopath.
So
Like, it
then
doesn't. We can't quite grasp.
So then the other theory is that he actually didn't do it, and that somebody took him and killed him.
Why'd they take the dog?
Yeah, I don't like that one either.
Why'd he take money out? $280.
They also said there was a lot more money in the account.
Really?
So if you were going to start a new life, why'd you only take $280 cash?
That's weird. Very weird. He's missing.
He's literally missing. The FBI, Bob Caldwell, he said that he's arrogant and he's cocky. He's a know-it-all. So they said he's been known to chew tobacco, and he favors Copenhagen. Very average-looking guy, but they said he sometimes has an odd walk. He has this weird. He has to push his chest out because he had that really bad back problem. They said he was an avid hunter, avid fisherman. They said he's considered armed and dangerous. He had ties to New Mexico and Florida, and they said basically the only reason that they've continued to really search for him is because they're afraid that they're truly afraid that he escaped, started a new life,
and
has a new family, and might annihilate another family.
Yeah, I mean,
they're he might do it again because he definitely had the means to kill his family and escape.
Wow. Well, I mean, I feel like somebody has to know something. Somebody out there has to have some kind of suspicion that this guy might be a freaking psychopath. And then if you start looking into any kind of crime,
one of those things y'all, he could be living in Greytown, Indiana.
If you think somebody might be a psychopath, maybe give the FBI's most wanted a gander. Maybe just run over it.
Just give Missing Midwest page a gander because I'm about to post every picture of him. And I hope that he's got this really they posted him with bald or gray hair and all this stuff. And so I hope you're judging every person you see.
I hope we find him this month.
I hope Missing Midwest finds him.
I just hope somebody.
I hope somebody is I listened to Missing Midwest and then I realized that my handyman is Robert.
I hope every day that he doesn't get found, he just has the worst day.
I hope it still burns when he pees.
If you like Missing Midwest, you will love Murdered Midwest. For just $5 a month, you can get access to an extra episode each week, plus over 50 backlogged episodes. Subscribe using the link in the show notes. This podcast is a So.Will.I.Studos production. So will I.
Bo Digital is the secret ingredient you need for success in marketing your small business. From logos and flyers to social media and videos, Bo Digital can create the marketing you need to set yourself apart. Oh, and they build websites too. Not only do they help my small business, but did you know that they help many others around Kokomo too, including Solidarity Community Credit Union, the Lindy Owsley and Chanel Cahill Real Estate Team, Hope Behavioral Services, and even the Kokomo Symphony. Let Bo build a custom plan for you today. Learn more at bodigital.com. That's BOWE digital.com.